Alright, we got a 2016 Ford F-150, and there goes my vacuum gauge, naturally. And the customer complaint is going down the highway, or intermittently, I should say. And I apologize, I got it running right now. He's getting a noise out of the front end, and he thinks it's a bearing. And it's just basically a, you know, humming, howling noise. Comes and goes, but as soon as you put it in four-wheel drive, of course, it goes bye-bye. So, thinking we got frozen lines, but we'll find out here. It's got those integrated wheel ends, which basically need vacuum to put them in two-wheel drive, okay? They're the opposite of the old school Fords. Alright, now I'm hooking up the vacuum line. Alright, let me grab a flashlight. Nice truck too, by the way. Really nice truck. Black. Alright, so here's the deal. Do I got a smudge on there? I do. Hold on. There we go. It doesn't look like I breathed all over the camera. Okay, so this is our driver front. Right now I went out on a test drive with the gentleman. Nice guy. And as you can see, get my light here. Watch the axle as I spin it, okay? Alright, so you see how it's moving? I got the vehicle running. It shouldn't be moving right now. It should be in two-wheel drive mode, right? Now let's look at our passenger side. And you'll see that one. Did I leave that one? Oh, I left that one disconnected. My apologies. Hold on. I got them disconnected because we're going to do a vacuum test, but I got a little carried away before I turned the camera on. Now, I suspected the IWE, but I'm not sold that it's a bad integrated wheel end at this point. Alright, so here's the deal. Okay, see how that axle's not spinning with the vacuum line hooked up, okay? That tells me the IWE on this side is working. On this side, however, with the vacuum line hooked up, we're locked in, and we shouldn't be, okay? So, since we know we got a good side here, let's pull this off. Alright? Now I can feel vacuum on there. Let me get my gauge on there. Alright guys, so you can see I got my vacuum gauge on the line, okay? And we're pulling, oh, what is that? About, looks like about 22-ish, 23-ish up in theirs. Let me release the pressure, or the vacuum rather. Alright. Now let's compare that to our other side. Okay. So you can see we're pulling the same amount of vacuum on our driver's side. Alright. So let's go ahead and release it. Alright. So that tells me both sides are in fact getting an equal amount of vacuum. Okay? So if that's the case, I should be able to hook this up, right? And it should put it in two-wheel, you know, this axle should disengage, right? Because right now, there's no vacuum going to the hub. So if you, so right now this axle is locked in, okay? And it should be, because there's no vacuum going to it, okay? Because you have one that provides vacuum, and then when you activate, now he did say, that once he, the heck am I trying to say? Once he puts it in four-wheel drive, okay, the noise goes away. So here's what's going on. This one is staying locked in, and we're going down the highway, and this axle is locked in, right? Because, let me disconnect it again to show you, and I'll disconnect it from my vacuum gauge. I'm going to reapply it to this IWE. So, we've got a bad IWE, okay? But we're going to put vacuum on this one to confirm it. Alright, and I don't know if I told you, but an IWE on a Ford is an integrated wheel end. That's the name for it, okay? That's his professional, official name. Okay, here we go. Now the vacuum lines are hooked back up. And you can see no disengage, okay? And that should be immediate. So, we're pretty much done, guys. It needs an IWE, okay? We know it's got vacuum on both sides. We know that it is able to lock into four-wheel, clearly, because if I disengage the passenger side, you know, take the vacuum line off, right? So you can see right now I've got vacuum applied. I'm spinning the wheel, and the axle stays stationary because it's not locked in. Disconnect it, the vacuum line, basically doing what the four-wheel drive system's going to do, to vent it through the smaller port, okay? It's going to allow it to vent. Alright, there's no vacuum to this hub, and we're locked in, okay? Sorry for the noise, but I got to have it running to test it in its natural state, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see, I don't think I'm going to be able to pull enough vacuum to disengage this anyways. So we'll test the passenger side with my vacuum pump just to see if I can basically put this thing into two-wheel mode with my vacuum pump. But in order for me to do that, what I will have to do, I will have to plug off the vent. So the smaller port on top of the IWE. I don't know if you can see it. I mean, we're pretty much done, guys. I mean, it needs, there's no doubt about it, it needs an IWE, but just for testing purposes and to give you a better understanding, that's what we're going to do, okay? Alright, so if you're doubting yourself, okay, vacuum gauge hooked up, no vacuum applied, and what I did is I took the smaller vent side of the, you know, the actual line for the truck, and I just put it on the smaller vent tube to plug it off, and then I took a piece of vacuum line and went to the vacuum port for this IWE on the passenger side. And the reason I'm doing this is because I know it's a known good, and I know it's gonna work. So right now there's no vacuum applied, so again, we're locked in, right? Let's apply some vacuum and see if she disengages. Basically, we're being the vacuum pump. And we know that right around 22, I'm losing vacuum. Is that my, yeah, that's just my vacuum pump hitting the arm there. Okay, so right there, you can see we're holding vacuum, okay? Alright, now we should be completely, sorry, I'm doing the best I can filming while I'm doing this. We're disengaged, see? Okay, I'll watch when I vent it. I'll spin this wheel really fast and vent it. Boom, locked right up, okay? See that? Quick test, down and dirty. Let's do our driver's side. Okay, got myself a little better light, I apologize. So, right now, vacuum gauge is hooked up, no vacuum applied, okay? Same setup as we did on the passenger side, and you can see we're still locked in, right? That thing should not be locked in, it's not disengaging, okay? Let's see if we give it vacuum, which we know it's not gonna. Let's see what it does, okay? Alright, so we're going to pump her up. We're going to bring her up to right around 23-ish. And you can see it's maintaining right about where it wants to be to disengage. Okay? We're going to spin our wheel. Uh-oh. We're still engaged. Okay? So we're done, guys. She needs an IWE. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.